Hey folks, and welcome to Drinking Alone with Friends, a podcast where three friends drink alone together. My name's Chris.
What up? It's Tud.
And I'm Obert.
And guys, I think we're making some progress.
Oh, yeah?
Doing what?
Yeah.
Marching our way down the field?
Yeah.
Keep getting those first downs?
Following our lead blockers?
Exactly. Right. Precisely. Just like the Colts didn't do today. But anyways, I recently read Untappd's future patch notes, and for their supporters only, they are breaking out 0.1 ratings. So you can rate your beers in 10th of a point.
Ooh.
So
wow.
How do you become an Untappd supporter?
I don't know. I didn't read that far. But I think with the momentum is finally starting to build.
Yeah, Untappd's getting on this 60-something episodes in. We've harped on that message.
Yeah.
Are we just honorary supporters?
Yeah, I think we should be, really.
It's our idea.
I love the idea that Chris is so into Untappd that when he's bored on his phone, he looks at the
He reads the
future
patch notes.
release patch notes. Like, oh, what's new in the app that I love today?
That's right. I sit there and I actually get notifications every time they post something to their blog, and I read them all. So, but yeah, it was a big thing. So it's not quite 10 points like we asked for, but hey, they made it much more variable in rating, which is
now it's basically, instead of a scale of 0 to 5, it's 0 to 50, really.
right. Yeah, they
Ooh,
actually took
that
it
is
a
a good
step
point.
further.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, see. Now I did read all of the patch notes as always, and they didn't credit us at all.
Should we file a
they got to
lawsuit?
get on that now.
Yeah. So I guess the name of this episode is going to be hashtag Untappd. Let's get on this too.
Give us credit.
Give us credit for your patch. That is our idea. Oh man, but it's been a while. What's up, guys? How you guys been doing? All right.
What do you mean? It's only been a week.
Well, now it's November, so it's a whole new month.
Yeah, there you go.
We've transitioned from pumpkin beers to pumpkin pie beers.
Speaking of
Yeah,
which,
now that we can officially have the pumpkin beers.
I found another good pumpkin beer.
Okay, follow up again from last week. I like it. What?
Correct. But I can't talk about it because it could appear next week. Dun dun dun.
Okay. Well,
Good story.
Yeah.
Cool story, bro.
Never mind then. Moving on.
I found this cool beer. End of story.
Yeah. Dot.
No, it's really good. You guys will look forward. Hopefully, I'll bring it next week.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
There we go.
So, yeah, he's got to get, he can only drink pumpkin beers up until Thanksgiving. So he's got to get them all in.
Clock expires. Yeah.
Back to back.
No apple beers, though. I'm kind of upset by this. I thought that this was going to be a trend. Nobody's ever said, let's brew an apple beer or like an apple cider beer or like a apple pie beer.
Well, cider is basically apple beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind
It's
of.
fermented apple juice. It's like replace the hops with apples.
There's no hoppy hard cider, though.
I bet
There
you
actually
there is.
are. And
Yeah, actually, I know there is. There's
Yeah.
one from that down east or whatever it is, that Texas one. Have you seen those?
Austin East Ciders?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
down
The-
east from
The Texas one,
Oregon.
down east.
and Western Cider up here in Montana makes an excellent hopped cider that I want to bring on the podcast at some point. And you know what? I know it's going to be 40 something episodes from now, but maybe like next September, before we do our pumpkin beers, we should all do a cider. We should do like something special for September as like a cider month kind of an idea.
I like it. You're building anticipation for our listeners.
Oh,
When's
yeah.
Johnny Appleseed's birthday?
Johnny Appleseed's birthday is September 26th. Also my non-Facebook birthday.
Oh, okay.
Wait, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh.
We share the birthday. I actually dressed up as Johnny Appleseed for Halloween when I was like 8.
All right. Well, there you go. September next year,
Just learn something new.
in honor of both Ober and Johnny Appleseed.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm still upset that there's no apple beer, though. This doesn't change my frustration.
Okay.
Well, like hopped cider is as close I think as you're gonna get.
No. I want a apple flavored beer.
Okay, I'm sure that you know what, with all the beers that are out there, I'm sure there's an apple flavored beer out there, or you could maybe even make your own by like infusing. If there was like a way to infuse beer with a flavor.
Yeah, if there was a way.
If only.
If only.
Ober, are you hinting at something?
No.
Actually, I am. And
Red's Apple Ale. That's
the beer that our audience was screaming into their car stereos.
Well,
that's still a cider.
That's what my Google is yelling at me right now.
Yeah. But no, this is actually I got to give Tud credit to this one.
Yeah.
Tud brings a lot of unique segments on the show. I think I got to give Tud credit for that. And
I am the segment master.
Well, no, not going that far. I think we all do our fair share.
Segment guru.
But
1/3 of a triumvirate.
This is something special that Tud cooked up for us this week.
Yeah. So this week I was searching Facebook, and I think somewhere along the lines, one of our listeners invited me to a group on Facebook called the French Press Guild, which is basically a group of beer drinkers who take different types of beers, whether they be stouts, IPAs, ales, lagers, whatever, and they pour the beer into a coffee French press and French press that beer with different ingredients. So like toasted coconut or peaches or candy or whatever. And then they French press it and pour it and drink it. And it's like a way of like infusing your beer with different flavors that you think would blend well with the beer.
And so this week, all three of us decided we were going to partake based on Tud's suggestion here. So do we want to introduce all of our beers?
Sure. My beer is, I French pressed a Founder's Breakfast Stout, which is a double chocolate coffee oatmeal stout. And I French pressed that with Count Chocula, peanut butter, and bananas.
Whoa.
Ooh.
It's basically like you're baking a cake in your beer almost.
Kinda.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. I'm curious how that's going to go.
I want something a little simpler. I just did Guinness and Oreos combination.
Nice.
Have you ever had a Guinness?
I have. Yeah, I love Guinness. And I'm sure we'll get into it once we get to my review. But Chris, what do you got for tonight?
So mine's a little bit more, well, it's more along the Tud line of things. I did have Oreos, but mine were double stuff Oreos.
Double the stuff, 1F.
Double the stuff, half the Fs. And I used Reese's peanut butter cups. And I put them in with a burial skillet donut stout. I had one left, so I'm like, okay, wow. This is what I'm gonna do.
My mouth's watering already. So we all went with the dark beer here.
Yeah, it seems nobody wanted to be adventurous and try an IPA.
Yeah.
I know. I honestly, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I would probably screw a dark beer up less than I would an IPA. That's kind of where I was going with everything. So
they are more forgiving,
right? Yeah,
I think so as well.
Plus, and I mean, we talk about it off air, but because you have to, it takes about like an hour, or in Tud's case, 2 hours, or however long it took them. But you have to, pour the beer out and have it in the thing. So it loses some of its carbonation, and a dark beer can get by and might actually taste better with less carbonation because it gets a lot smoother and things of that nature. So
a little flatter, yeah. So it sounds like you've already described a little bit of the process, but maybe Tud, you want to go through how you made these beers?
Yeah, that would probably be better for the audience.
Yeah, so the process on how to do this, in case you would like to do it at home, so listeners follow along at home while you listen to this episode.
And we'll put a link in the show notes too.
Yes. Is you take a French press that you would French press your coffee in and throw whatever you would like to French press your beer with in the bottom of the French press, right where you'd put the coffee beans usually. And then take the beer, open. This works a lot better if you have two of the exact same beers, or if you have a bottle capper to cap the beer that you're making this with. So open the beer, pour it into the French press, put the cover on, and let it sit for an hour in the fridge. An hour at a minimum.
So you got the beer, you got the ingredients stewing together in the French press.
Correct. At the end of the hour, pull the beer out of the fridge, press the French press down so you're squeezing all that goodness out, and then pour into a cup. And then to recarb the beer, that way your beer has a little bit of carbonation, either pop the cap on the bottle that you're already using for the beer, or open another beer and pour it on top. And that way you end up having, it's a bigger glass of beer, but you also have a beer that hasn't lost all of its carbonation fully.
And I just want to interject for those of you who don't know what a French press is it's like a fancy way to make coffee. It's just basically a cylinder that you push down with a filter. So the filter keeps all the coffee beans normally at the bottom of the glass, French press or whatever your French press is made out of. And then you can pour the coffee out that way. So as opposed to dripping through a percolator, they just kind of mingle with all the ground coffee.
That is a good point. I didn't think about the fact that somebody might not know how a French press works, but
I know it's been a handle previously, but
yeah, a very
for
good
those
handle.
of our listeners who are new, I just wanted to just shout out what a French press is.
Perfect.
So because you introduced us all to this, why don't you start, Todd?
Sure.
You are the mastermind. This is a late Dr. Frankenstein reference, but you're the mad scientist here.
So as I said earlier, I'm drinking a Founder's Breakfast Stout with Count Chocula, bananas, and peanut butter.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I'm envisioning in my head like a peanut butter banana sandwich. But
So there's a lot going on here.
I'm not surprised.
Not only is this beer a chocolate coffee oatmeal stout to begin with, but you can definitely taste the Count Chocula and the marshmallows. It's not as much peanut butter as I was expecting to get, and a little bit of hint of banana, but the banana's it's not as banana-y as I would like to say. I mean, it's more like if you were
subtle
eating
banana.
Yeah, well, more like banana bread banana than banana, I guess.
Or a banana, or like a smoothie where it's like mixed in with it.
Correct. Yeah. I'm not getting a overindulgence of banana. It's just kind of there, but it's not really there. I get a lot of the sweet from the banana, but not as much of the banana taste.
Okay, interesting. And that's interesting to me because I know banana is generally a very overpowering flavor.
And I was hoping it would be.
Right.
I was hoping that was what would come through with the banana and the peanut butter with the Count Chocula, because who doesn't like to throw bananas into their Count Chocula when they're eating it in the morning?
Not me, but that's I
You've
could
never
see
done
that
that?
being a thing. No, I'm not. I don't like to mix my bananas in my cereal. That's not. I mean, I know people do it, but it's not for me. But I had a question about the peanut butter. So,
Sure.
Did you stir it up at all? Because I could imagine if it was just like a glass of water and I dropped a tablespoon of peanut butter at the bottom, it would just kind of sit there and because it's oily, the oil and water wouldn't mix that well.
So good question. So during my research for this, I learned that you're supposed to melt the peanut butter before you put it in.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Oh.
I microwaved my natural peanut butter, hashtag natural peanut butter is better than Jif, in the microwave for a minute, and then poured that liquid peanut butter on top of the bananas, and then threw the Count Chocula on top, and then mixed that up with a spoon before I poured the beer on top.
Okay, so it's almost like a peanut butter sundae topping more than just like a straight tablespoon of peanut butter.
Right. But the reason
Yeah.
behind that is to liquefy it and get the peanut oils out, so it kind of secretes itself into the beer as it's sitting there.
Okay, so what would you rate a regular Founder's Breakfast Stout by itself?
Luckily, I have some Founder's Breakfast
Okay,
Stout
here we go.
left.
We'll get the straight dope.
So Founder's Breakfast Stout, I would give probably a solid 3.75. It's got a lot of flavor. You can definitely taste the oatmeal and the chocolate, but it's good. It's not great, but it's solid. This, with a little bit of marshmallowy goodness and a little bit of peanut butter and that banana undertone, it definitely enhances it. This is definitely an improved beer. It's a little bit more sweet, so it kind of turns into more of like a Treehouse double shot or something like what Chris is going to drink with the donut shop, where it's an ultra sweet stout. So I'd probably bump this up to, in the new world of Untappd, I would give this a 4.2.
Yeah.
But in the current iteration, I'd have to give this a 4 because it's not quite a 4.25, but it definitely is better than the original Founder's Breakfast Stout.
Okay, and does the lost carbonation dock it at all?
No, because I poured enough of the new breakfast stout
The carbonated one, right.
to add some carbonation back in. It's obviously not as carbonated as the standard breakfast stout, but it does have enough to where you're like, all right, I'm drinking a beer, it's a little warmer and it's a little flatter because obviously that's just what it is. I mean, I've drank beer with less carbonation before than this beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Well, that sounds good.
like bottom third of a pitcher beer,
yeah.
Not quite. This concoction I made up, it would the best way I can describe it is, if you get a stout and you open it up and you want to let it sit to room temperature before you drink it, that's basically what I'm tasting.
Okay.
It's
That's
still
not bad.
got a little bit of carbonation to it, but it's not quite as carbonated as it probably was when I popped the cap.
Nice.
Very nice.
So which one of you two would like to try this next?
Can I go?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I already mentioned I'm doing Guinness and Oreos. I picked that combination because, Guinness, it's very subdued flavors, and it's nitro beer. It's not carbonated. It's got nitrogen instead.
Right. Oh, that's smart.
And I thought the chocolatey Oreo flavor would really complement it well. I'm used to putting Oreos in my ice cream, my milk. Like, I know that when you crumble up an Oreo, it'll dissolve. It'll get mushy and mix in pretty well.
So you thought Oreos ice cream, Oreos milk. Why not Oreos and beer?
Exactly. Right? So yeah, mine is, it's looking kind of flat. I see a little bit of like Oreo dust lining the glass at the level where it's at the surface here. So, but yeah, not a lot going on. But not a lot of carbonation going on, I guess. I mean, not a lot of bubbles. But
But
I've
it's
been
a nitro anyways, so the bubbles
yeah.
are really subtle anyways.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I got it in my big 20-ounce glass here, so here we go.
Oh yeah, that's something that we should probably tell the readers too. When you do this, make sure you have a larger than normal size glass, because you're going to need that to recarb the beer that you've already French pressed.
This is definitely interesting. I definitely get a strong chocolatey aroma from the beer, but when I drink it, I don't get as much chocolate flavors. I honestly it tastes more like a wheat beer, which is weird. I wouldn't expect that, but
No, that's weird.
I actually, what I'm going to do here, and if I can do this legally on the podcast.
You're gonna add some more carbs.
I think
to
I
it?
needs to add a little bit more bubbles here. So
No, I'm just referring it to carbs from now on.
yeah, but it's nitrogen, so
Yeah, it's not that.
yeah. So I just poured a little bit more Guinness in, and we'll see how it goes. But looks wise, you can't really change. You can't make a Guinness much darker in color.
Right.
But
it's technically red though.
But yeah, as soon as I pour it in, that nice foam that you get on top of a Guinness, it's just filled with little Oreo speckles, like it's cookies and cream ice cream.
Oh, nice.
So, but oh yeah, and drinking the foam on top, I get a lot of that flavor. And I was debating when I was mixing it if I should put the Oreos in my coffee grinder. Instead, I just mashed it up with a fork. I didn't want to get it too fine, but I would try that again next time.
Like a fine cookie dust.
Yeah. Yeah. Guinness for me holds a special place in my heart. It's like a go-to beer of mine that, even though it's not a super complex beer, not so much going into it, it's something that I can have as a go-to. And that's always why I rated it a little higher, because it's just, when you're at a bar and there's so many options, sometimes you're like, you know what? I'm craving a Guinness. So for me, Guinness is already a 4. I think adding Oreos didn't really improve its rating all that much. I'd say maybe like a 4.1. It's a cool experiment, but I think I like Guinness the way it is. And if there was a Guinness but with Oreos in the store, I would probably just buy the regular Guinness. I don't know.
Skip right over it. Now, I will say for the listeners at home, and for you guys, I don't know if I told you this either. A lot of the research I did pointed to the fact that we probably should use a more standard stout, kind of like a Guinness or a left-handed milk stout or a Dragon's Milk, just because they're just a stout. There's nothing crazy about them.
You're not competing with other flavors that are already in there.
So like mine, like it's the chocolate and the oatmeal and the coffee. Like there's a lot of flavors going on in there. If you choose a more standard stout, you're more apt to taste what you're French pressing it with. So with you, like obviously you taste a lot of Oreo because it's really the flavor of what you added into the beer. Yeah.
And honestly, I think now that I'm having more of it with the fresh can of Guinness added, it definitely improved a lot, as opposed to just the kind of the open can that was sitting in my fridge for an hour.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to sit here and enjoy this while we hear all about Chris's crazy combination.
Yeah. Let's see what he has.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about it. It looks, when I was pouring it from the French press, I felt like it had a lighter hue than going in. And on the nose, I do smell a lot of peanut butter from the Reese's.
Yeah. Remind us again what you're drinking.
So this is double stuff Oreo and Reese's peanut butter cups in the Burial Donut Skillet Stout.
Yeah, and I gotta say, when we tried there and I had that skillet, the donut skillet, it was really good.
Yeah, the donut skillet stout was fantastic in and of its own right.
Did they? I remember they had the barrel aged one. Did they have both versions of it?
I only tried the barrel aged one.
Okay. So,
I think I had them both.
Okay, because this is
but I
the
can't remember if
regular
that's because I had a can or not.
Yeah, I don't know. But so this is the regular one, not barrel aged. So,
okay,
just keep that in mind. I figured if I would put a bourbon barrel aged beer in there, it would have been all bourbon. Oops, all bourbon. But, but yeah, I'm pretty excited. And if you look at, I don't know if it'll come across well on the camera. Probably not. Nope. But there's almost like it looks like the foam has some of the peanut butter in it as well. So I'm pretty excited for it. So let's see how it goes.
So I mean, this beer was probably one of my favorite burial beers to begin with. So I'm actually kind of curious to know.
Yeah, I think I gave the bourbon one a 4.5.
Yeah, I'm curious to know how this interacts with Reese's and or double stuff with 1F Oreos.
Yeah. And did you steal this Reese's from your son, Chris? Is this candy that you stole?
No.
Did you raid his Halloween supply?
I bought this specifically for this experiment. So there's a lot going on. It is a very, very sweet concoction. I mean,
yeah,
very sweet. Not bad, but definitely not what I remember the donut stout to be. The thing I think I get the most out of it is I do get a lot of the peanut butter. Now this is Reese's peanut butter, not almond, not your all natural peanut butter. So it does have a lot of sugar and a lot of that stuff, and it's more. I'm sure it's pretty oily, but it's really good. I think I may have overdone it because I had no idea how much to use of anything, so I was like guessing.
Okay, how much did you use?
So I did 5 Oreos.
Okay.
Oh, whoa!
And I did 2 of the peanut butter cups. So I was trying to think of like
standard size or pumpkin shape.
No, standard
okay.
cups. So I was trying to think of it as like, I guess I should use about as much as I use to make coffee in my French press, but apparently that is not the the way
That's
to do it.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah.
That's a lot of Oreos.
It was, and
I used 4 Oreos in mine.
Okay, but yours is single stuff, so
right, only
one,
only single stuff,
and all you added was Oreos.
Right.
By the way, on a side tangent of this review, the best shape of a Reese's peanut butter cup is the egg from Easter time.
I agree. I like the egg better than the tree or the cup.
Or the pumpkin.
Yeah. What about the football?
Well, so the football is kind of egg-shaped.
It's just the egg, yeah. I'm convinced they're leftover eggs. But
I think you're probably right.
That's like a slightly aged egg.
Yeah.
But
I do like the frilly edges of the regular cup, though. I think that adds a nice little texture.
I think that we should petition Reese's to sell the egg-shaped Reese's all year round, because it would outsell the normal Reese's hands down, I think.
I mean, the pumpkin Reese's is pretty good, I think.
It's not as good as the egg, though.
I don't know.
It tastes extra good because you stole it from your son, so like you get that like a little extra adrenaline rush when you bite into it.
Trust me, I know.
Don't lie, he didn't steal it from his son. He stole it from his neighbors who thought they were giving it to his son.
Oh yeah, definitely played that game, trolling the cute 2-year-old for candy. But he got to eat some of it this year, which was cool. We let him pick out like a snack every night, and he ate an oatmeal pie, and he ate the Rice Krispie treat. But anyways,
oatmeal pie?
Yeah. Someone handed out like the
moon pie,
the oatmeal cream pie things. They're pretty good.
That's like equivalent to the person who gives you a penny when you go there and say trick or treat. Here's a penny.
They're like whoopie pies. I don't know. They're good.
Yeah, I think they're good. I was actually for his sake. I was hoping he was going to get raisins because he loves raisins. I was like, where are those people? Where are the raisin people? But
what was CJ's costume?
He was a shark this year.
Baby
shark.
Yeah. CJ Shark so he was a shark, and he was a cute, very very cute shark. So but we went trick or treating, and we conned a bunch of people out of candy. So and then I went to work. So
nice. So getting back to this beer review, way off on a tangent.
Yeah, it's fine. Talking about CJ, can't go wrong. Yeah, it's almost like every time I take a sip of it, I get a different something. It's really like I feel like I did too much, you know. Like that time, I definitely got more Oreo than I did before. It's good. It's very sweet, and it probably could have done with either one or the other. I don't think I should have done both.
Yeah, and I think like of all of the beers that don't need you to add anything to it,
Right.
Uriel's Donut Stout is probably up there in terms of like,
Yeah,
it's fine the way it is.
Yeah, it's almost perfect by itself.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is a solid beer. I think I gave it a 4.25 on Untappd or something like that. So, I mean, it's a good beer on its own, and I probably did damage to it rating wise. I mean, I don't think it's not like a 4.25, but I would say it's at least a 3.8 or 3.9 if you're going by the new Untappd scale.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's right around a 4.
How did the carbonation hold up in yours? Because I know you only had one, so you're the only one of us who didn't have another beer to pour on top.
Yeah, and it's a can, so I couldn't really reseal it. I tried to put it in a baggie. I don't know, just trying to conserve as much as I can. But it's not bad. It's definitely more flat than normal beers, but I don't miss it as much because it's like the stout and it's very sweet and things of that nature. So, if it were an IPA or something, I think I would definitely tell a bigger difference. But,
So do you think it would improve you gave it a 4, obviously, or as you said.
yeah.
Do you think it would have improved your rating had it had a little bit of carbonation?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it would have stayed about the same. I think the flavor's still there. It's just a little less bubbly, which is fine for me.
Yeah. So I was thinking about it, so we were only able to try these beers on here, but I had a couple ideas when I was coming up with this one of other things I would like to try that maybe if our listeners, if this intrigues you, here's some ideas of stuff you could try at home, because I think these three were a good start, and I agree starting with a stout would be smart, but I think we talked about doing IPAs with any kind of fruit. That would be tasty.
And toast the fruit first. So like if
What
you're
do you
gonna
mean, toast the fruit?
So if you're gonna do like peaches in an IPA, for example,
To peaches.
throw the peaches in a skillet first and get them a little like cooked,
Caramelized?
Like caramelized. almost?
Yeah,
Mm.
that way you're releasing some different flavors into your beer. That's at least what I read when it came to like some of the fruit. Same thing with like coconut. If you're gonna add coconut, toast the coconut.
Well, that's a much more common thing to toast, I think, than peaches.
Listen, this is what I read.
Okay. But yeah, I would like to try like a strawberry in a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Ooh, that'd be pretty good.
Ooh.
Citrus is a good option. I would like to try and make my own Bud Light lime. Like I would like a Bud Light and then just put a couple wheels of limes in there, mash them, get that juice out of there and press that and see how it compares to an OG Bud Light lime. I think that'd be a little tougher with the carbonation, but or like
another Bud
any
Light on
Mexican
top.
lager. Yeah.
Yeah.
What other thoughts did you guys have for combos we could try?
I was reading online, and a lot of people stick with cereal. I mean, that seems to be a pretty straightforward one is cereal. But then other people...
Well, again, that's something designed to be soaked and absorb.
Right.
And,
Yeah, that makes sense. And then other people add additional hops to their beer. I don't know if you guys saw that going through. Like, they'll French press hops into their already hopped beer. So that seemed interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, I thought I had one of my favorites, those chocolate mini donuts. I had some of them this morning. I thought about not devouring them all and trying them either in lieu of, or I mean, I guess in addition to what I already had. But glad I didn't do that. But that was one thing that I did think of. I was like, I wonder how that little mini donut would go in that thing. So
yeah, I would try like something spicy maybe.
Ooh, there you go. That
Like a
might be interesting.
jalapeno or a habanero.
Yeah, that would be
I
good.
I thought about like marshmallow fluff too,
That would be good.
Yeah.
or maybe like maybe some coffee, and adding like additional coffee to the coffee stout. I think
I thought about if we weren't recording so late on a Sunday night, I thought about that too. Because it is a French press. Like you see a French press, the first thing you think is like, what if coffee?
Right.
Right. Maybe like an almond joy too would have been good.
Yeah, back on your toasted coconut idea.
Yeah, I'm
there's
not
a whole bunch of
coconut guy,
spices
so.
you can add in there too, like cinnamon or honey.
Well, I feel like cinnamon
Yeah.
would it would just mix, right? Because it would go through the strainer, I assume, right? Because it's so fine. But
Yeah,
but I think it would sit in there and stew for a while.
True. But yeah, it was. There was a lot of things that I was interested in, and I'm definitely going to try it again. Maybe with a more basic beer like you guys were talking about. I would like to try. I think the strawberries in a pale ale sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think and listeners, write in or tag us on Instagram. That'd be a fun post to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
How you do it at home, but
this one intrigued me. Butter and cinnamon brown coconut.
That sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
I just don't know how butter would taste in a beer, but I can't imagine it would taste bad.
Well, if Harry Potter's in any indication, probably pretty good.
Do you guys like coconut? Are you guys both coconutters?
I can get by with some coconut.
I'd say I go nuts for coconut.
Go nuts for coconut? Okay. All right. I'm just curious. Trying to ISO 2 new co-hosts.
Yeah.
Or maybe we just need
Chris
one
is starting
new co-host.
a spin-off podcast. Welcome to Coconut Hating with Friends. Regularly, just you have new guests on every time that just hate on coconut.
Yeah. It's not even a nut.
Yeah.
It probably is. I don't
kills people falling from trees. I mean,
it is a nut that grows on a tree.
1 person a year dies from coconut falling on their head a year. False. 2 people a year.
I will say that one of my favorite beers I've ever had was a coconut IPA that I had that was brewed with Tired Hands by Tired Hands and Other Half. It was delicious.
Oh, those are 2 really awesome
That sounds
breweries,
really good.
But a coconut IPA, I've never had a coconut IPA since. I've never been able to find one. And then if I did find one, I don't know if I'd ever try it for fear of ruining what I have in my mind of that beer.
I've had good coconut beers like Kona's, and I've had bad coconut beers like Oscar Blues's, and it's there's more bad ones than good ones out there.
You don't like
Death by Coconut?
You don't like Death by Coconut?
It's been a while since I had it, but I thought it was too fake coconut tasting to me.
So fun fact, last weekend we were discussing possibly doing this. And so I wanted to attempt this. So I had Death by Coconut, and I pressed it with some Count Chocula.
Ooh.
Just to see what it would taste like. And I honestly had an allergic reaction to the Death by Coconut beer. And my eye swole shut, and the left side of my face got puffy. It was weird. So I don't know if it was I just had an allergic reaction to something else, or I legit had an allergic reaction to a beer. But all I know is I have Death by Coconut in my house, and I'm afraid that it actually might be the death of me.
Uh-oh.
They
don't call
I know,
it
it's right
nothing.
there in the name. Can I ask you a hypothetical question, Ted?
Sure.
If a genie popped out of a lamp in your house, like one of those smart Alexa lamps, it was like, I will give you $100 a week for the rest of your life. However, you have a crippling allergy to beer. Would you take this genie up on this offer?
Oh, of course.
$100 a week to never drink a beer again?
That's $5,200 a year, or it's $5,200 a year.
Chris is shaking his head now.
No,
I don't think so. I don't think that's. Yeah, I mean, if it was 1,000, I'd probably say yeah.
Well, it's good to know how much you can quantify your love of beer.
1,000? I mean, yeah, you'd almost. That's
I mean,
talking
another
some money
salary,
there for a minute, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless we get enough Patreon supporters where we.
That is true.
I'm making $1,000 a week to drink beer, right?
Now, does this genie? Can I still drink hard ciders and hard seltzers and all those things? And
the genie disappeared back into his lamp. It's not going to answer. You have to try it and hope it doesn't kill you. So.
Oh, if I break the rule, I die.
Yeah. Definitely allergic.
Fantastic. But I can drink
the genie's gone. I don't know.
Drink vodka and bourbon. It was just beer, so
just left $100 there. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't take the $100. I'd flip that back at the genie, but
yeah,
$1,000.
Well, yeah, that's $1,000. It sounds reasonable.
That's money. That's going to be money. So, Todd, you mentioned it during your concoction, and I think this just goes to show I don't know Count Chocula that well. But are there marshmallows in that? There's marshmallows.
Yeah,
I
wanted to jump back on that too.
Yeah, so it's a chocolate. So it's picture like Lucky Charms.
Okay,
but instead of it being bread flavored bread pieces.
Yep, that's what Lucky Charms is.
It's like me and croutons with marshmallows.
Yep, that's it. It's Lucky Charms. Okay, anyways. So instead of croutons.
Yeah, instead of croutons, they're chocolate flavored croutons with marshmallows. And so like the croutons are ghost shaped and the marshmallows are different shapes. So some of them are ghost shaped and some of them are vampire shaped and others are like pumpkin shaped. And it used to be sold year round. And then Kellogg's or General Mills or whoever makes it only releases it now around Halloween time.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
you got to get that sweet limited release sales.
Yes.
Yeah, 2 notes. First, I think they missed the mark. I think the marshmallows should be ghost shaped because they're white anyway, right?
Some are ghost shaped.
Okay, all right. Well, that makes it a little better. And then also, you can get chocolate marshmallow mateys at Walmart year round.
Ooh.
They're the same thing.
Oh, I like this.
Well, no,
handle.
but they're not ghost shaped.
No, they're not. They're circle shaped, but they're the what are they? The malto meal, the ones that come in the bag. They're purple bag. We used to devour them at my house growing up. So
yeah, you save money by them only being circles. That's where the savings comes. That's passed on to the consumer.
Yeah, they don't have to shave the circles down.
The ghost provides that little bit of an extra, like, oh yeah, I'm eating a ghost.
Oh, spooky, super spooky. Yeah, for some reason I thought that they were more like, I guess, cocoa pebbles, like just like flakes of chocolate or something.
That's what I thought too.
Okay.
No, they're definitely more croutony.
Okay. All right.
Oh man, there comes our Hedwig.
Oh, or is Chris turning on Netflix?
Yeah, this is a very Harry Potter episode for some reason. No, I as you can see, I have a small piece of mail today.
Oh yeah.
We had a few write-ins about last week's episode and just wanted to touch base because we love our listeners and want to give shout-outs to them when they write us and send us nice emails.
And we're focusing specifically this week on Halloween movies and scary movies.
Yes,
correct.
Exactly. So first, brother of the pod sent in, so he sides with, I guess, both of you on The Nightmare Before Christmas. So he says...
Okay.
He says, so my favorite Halloween movie is The Nightmare Before Christmas. It is absolutely a dual season movie, so you can watch for Christmas or Halloween. So I don't know. I guess both of you guys win.
Look at that term. Dual season.
Yeah. Well, you know, he's a big nerd with his big computers and stuff. So, and then he says he doesn't really like scary movies, so I guess he sides with me on that one. But the one movie that he had a hard time watching was It. So
I could see that.
It's not even that scary.
Is that the clown one?
That is the clown one.
Yeah, that's the one with the red balloon
in the sewer.
I know the sewer clown meme, but
yeah, that's not even that scary.
I don't know. Hey,
what is wrong with him?
You know, I gotta say, I wouldn't want to read that book. I like to read before bed, and I don't bring scary books into my bedroom. I don't want to go to sleep with that energy. Like Stephen King, not what I'm trying to go to bed to.
See, I could read that. Stephen King is not scary. Bring it on, Stephen King.
Yeah.
There you go. You heard it.
First. I'm waiting until like Ted gets like a knock on his door at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
It's like downpouring out, and it's like Stephen King out there.
Now, he is a creepy looking human, so I probably would be scared at 3 a.m. if he knocked on my door.
Yeah, and then you go to answer it, and suddenly he's gone.
I don't know what he looks like.
Look at a picture of him.
He does kind of look like he looks like a skeleton that put skin on. Like, kind of makes sense.
I think we're all skeletons with skin on.
Yeah, but he looks like it. Like when you look at normal people, you're like, oh, I
can't see all your bones.
I can't see all your bones. Right, exactly. So
he looks like, so AKA he looks like a human.
Hey, whatever. If all you see is skeletons, good for you. I'm more than just a skeleton. And then our next one came from good friend of the pod and also good friend of our lives, Jason. And Jason writes in saying, the best Halloween-themed movie is clearly Halloween. I mean, it's right in the name. So
that's true.
Yeah. Now, well, apparently, from Tud. Now, from those of you that don't know Jason, he is probably my friend that is the most of a cinephile. I think that's fair to say. He claims
agreed.
That title. Yeah. He loves movies and has seen. I mean, he the list that he sent of scary movies is probably more than the list of movies that I've seen in my entire life. He sent, I'm going to go say 50, 60 horror movies that he also enjoys.
What is his scariest movie?
Well, I don't think he rated them in scariness, but he put, some of them were like Alien, let me see, Session 9, Poltergeist, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Psycho, It, Scream, Dead Alive.
He's got a lot of the classics there.
Yeah. These are ones that I've like heard of. So,
what's the first movie on that list?
Alien.
Okay.
Oh no, Don't Look Now. I think that's the name of a movie. Don't look now.
He's not warning you about reading the list.
If you're scared, avert your eyes.
Don't look at any below this line.
Yeah. And I mean, Carrie is on there. I've heard of that one. The Last Man on Earth, American Psycho. So he listed a huge list. So
yeah, Ted will have to reach into that mailbag, and as someone who has made it through the entire section of Blockbuster,
right,
it was a very extensive section.
Make sure there's none that he missed.
I can tell you this: the first one on that list I've never read or never seen before.
Unless it is just a warning.
What about the Cars That Ate Paris?
I don't think I've seen that one. I have seen, I think it's called The Pizza Man or the Pizza Boy or something like that, where it's a serial killing pizza. It was more entertaining than it was scary. I'm actually kind of curious to see this new Stephen King movie called Dr. Sleep, which somebody calls a horrific masterpiece, according to the commercial that I saw on television today.
Interesting. But yeah, just we got a couple emails in, wanted to hit them up and, thank you for writing in and, continue to do so. We will continue to read off scary movies and whatnot. If you've ever French pressed a beer, make sure you write in, all that fun stuff. Just want to say hi, write in.
Or if you're going to try it.
Yeah, if you're going to try it, let us know. And, but yeah, if you need life advice or fantasy football picks.
Fantasy football advice.
Hit up dawfpodcast@gmail.com. But
relationship advice?
Yeah, sure. But there it goes.
No guarantee on relationship advice.
Right. I think the only thing we can't provide is legal advice because none of us are lawyers.
I mean, we can provide it.
Yeah.
They just, we have to disclaimer the fact that you shouldn't listen
that
to
they
it.
Can't follow it. Yeah.
You should consult an actual lawyer.
Yeah.
I'm going through this list, and I know Jason has recommended, I thought it was Drag Me to Hell.
Ooh, that's a good movie.
But I thought he told me that was one of the scariest movies he's ever seen. But I don't see it on this list, so maybe I'm mistaking it. But I remember Jason recommending that movie to me. So clearly, I think the best way to communicate to Jason is just I speak into his ears on a podcast, and then he could just text me, tell me if I'm making that up. Looking at all these movies, I recently saw that Netflix is testing out the idea of letting you watch shows at 1.5 speed. And I wanted to get both of your reactions to that idea.
That is, Is it weird for me, of all people, to say, I don't agree with that?
Well, that was the reason I brought it up on today's show, because of all the people I know who enjoy things faster than they normally are made. It's Tud, who listens to his podcasts very quickly.
Yeah, I listen to my podcast between 1.5 and 2 times speed. All of them at all times. I started back when I was listening to Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. Just because it was so slow and they were 6 hours long, I wanted to get through them faster. But I don't know about watching that. That would be weird to me. Like, would the voices sync up with the video? Like, or would you have some lag between what you were hearing and what you were seeing? Or
well, let's just assume it's just like your podcast, where you can understand it, but it's clearly a little unnatural, right?
Huh. I think I'd have to try it, but I don't think I would do it personally.
Yeah, I don't think I would either, to be honest.
Yeah, my question is okay, if you're the kind of person who needs to watch your Netflix at 1.5 speed, it's what are you doing with your life that you need to fit more TV into less time?
That is true.
What is your goal when you're watching Netflix? Are you just sitting there to relax, or are you got to crank out the season of BoJack in 4 hours?
No, it's a good point. And I think about it and part of the reason I don't listen to my podcast that fast is because I feel like if it's going so fast, I'm gonna like miss something or I'm not gonna pick up on something, and I think that's just gonna, I listen to a lot of podcasts except for like ours that are very like story driven. So it's like if I miss something, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Whereas I don't know, if you listen to just Joe Rogan talking for 4 hours or whatever, then okay, so you missed a sentence here or there. But
so this is why Chris listens to all of his podcasts at half speed.
Yeah, I want 4 hours to be 8 hours, please.
And I will say that I don't listen to a lot of like the story-driven podcasts that you guys listen to. I listen to a lot of, for lack of a better term, talk show podcasts.
Interviews.
Yeah, interviews. And it's not just Joe Rogan. I mean, I listen to Joe Rogan every now and then, but there are other podcasts out there that I listen to that just provide information. And so getting through them at 1.5 times speed is, what the hell? Oh, it's a cat.
It's a cat.
Getting through them through 1.5 times speed is beneficial to me because I have a lot of those podcasts and I want to learn a lot.
Yeah, I think that's the difference between Netflix and a podcast like that, where you're like, trying to learn something versus sitting there to relax and enjoy it.
Yeah, I probably should try one of these story-driven podcasts just to see if would I still listen to them at 1.5 times speed, or would I slow them down to 1 speed so I could be entertained by the show.
Yeah. So I will say, to combat the point I just made, I did start listening to audiobooks at 1.1 speed. So it's like,
ooh,
that's like the Untappd adjustment.
Right, exactly.
They actually
Only
do 1.1?
Yeah, well, some of the books I listen to are 42 hours long. So, I mean, that adds up, over time. But
I will say that according to Overcast, I have saved.
Oh, geez. There's this actually tells you?
Oh, yeah. Based on, because Overcast has a lot of different features. They have like silence elimination and speeds and all that. So according to Overcast, I have saved an extra 89 hours.
Damn.
Between speed adjustments and smart speed.
Almost 4 days. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's a long time. I mean,
it is a long time.
That's a lot of podcasts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Like parting the kimono, pulling back the curtain, however you want to say it. I edit and then I upload the raw or the edited product onto Google Drive, and then Obert and Tud listen to it and give me editing advice. And every week Tud is like, is there any way we could put up a faster version of this?
If you uploaded the faster version, I would be able to provide more feedback because it takes me so long to get through it. I almost have ADD now when it comes to podcasts. If the information's not flying at me, I'm bored.
Yeah.
Oh, how bad was that sip?
Oh my god. Whew. I just made it to the bottom of my glass.
We keep this in here.
Oh yeah. I just made it to the bottom of my glass, and it was just like Oreo and I don't know.
Did you fresh press the beer?
Yeah.
Did you do it properly?
Yes. I just think that a lot of stuff dissolved, and it was like drinking sludge. It was not.
You just got the stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You probably hit the stuff.
Yeah, that was a bad one right there. But anyways, my vote is no Netflix. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to try it, but I probably would never use it.
And so with that, I think it's time for us to move on to everyone's favorite segment where we pull our three-handled frosty mug of wisdom out of our freezer and share life advice, hacks, tips, general thoughts, one might say, wisdomy wisdom. And Tud is looking anxious to start filling up this mug.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go first. My handle this week is a bit of a two-parter. So the first part of this handle is a band called The Grassroots. They're from the 70s, or 60s and 70s, and they're a folk rock band. But what makes this band unique is I know that the three of us and many listeners, and also one of our co-hosts, Jenna, are big Office fans.
Mm-hmm.
So the lead singer of The Grassroots is a character in The Office. Not only just by the actual individual, but he also plays himself in The Office. So we all know who Creed is, the weird guy in The Office.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
His real name is actually, in real life, Creed Bratton. And in the show, he plays Creed Bratton. And in the show, he's playing himself, as you can tell by the last episode of the series, where he talks about at one point he was in a gang called The Grassroots, and they were smuggling drugs. Well, in real life, he was the lead singer of the band, the Grassroots, and they actually have some really popular songs from like the 60s and 70s.
Nice.
So my handle this week is the Grassroots, and also because it's Creed, and that just made me laugh when I found that out.
That's really funny.
So should I just type Grassroots into Spotify? Do you have is it like a greatest hits album, like a single you want to recommend, or just like how can I experience the Grassroots?
Sure, yeah. So if you go to Spotify and type in the Grassroots, I mean, you'll pop up with their entire discography. But the song that everybody will know as being like their biggest hit is called "Let's Live for Today." Another one is called Midnight Confession. Those are probably the two most popular songs that everybody would know. But it's definitely, Let's Live for Today is probably definitely the biggest song the Grassroots had. At the same time, by the way, Creed is also a touring musician to this day. The song that he plays in the last episode of The Office is actually a song that he wrote back in 2003 and just played it on the last episode of The Office.
Nice.
That's cool.
So I guess it's like, this is kind of like a 3-part handle. The Grassroots, Creed is a musician, and then go check out Creed himself.
We're all out of handles, guys. So
yeah,
that's it. We're done.
Just grabbed all 3 handles at once and chugged. Don't ask how you grabbed the 3rd handle.
Yeah, no one wants to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched The Office a few times, and I think the most recent time that I watched it, Creed was like, I always thought he was funny, but I think I appreciated him way more than I did, the first 3 times I watched it, or however many times I've watched it. So, just some of the small quips. So it's pretty funny, and that's very interesting. I didn't even realize that he was part of a band. That's pretty good. So,
yeah. Creed is my office spirit animal for sure. I think he is my favorite character. Absolutely.
Quabbity.
So, who wants to go next?
I can jump in if Obert isn't quite ready.
Oh, yeah. I'm just waiting for somebody to hand me a mug and I'll take it.
Okay, all right. So,
and I'm holding it out there. My arm's starting to shake, and I'm ready to drop the mug. So I need somebody to help me hold this up.
Yeah.
Okay, in the Oktoberfest spirit here.
Right. Yeah.
Chris is gonna support you.
I'll pick it up. So recently I've started playing another video game, and it's called Luigi's Mansion 3. This came out just the other day for the Switch. Actually, on Halloween it came out. So, but have you played any of the other Luigi's Mansions? Either one of you?
No.
Yeah, that was one of those games that I rented from Video Galaxy for the original GameCube.
Nice.
Beat it in a weekend and then returned it. So,
nice.
Obert, I think I have to disagree with that statement there. I think you owned it, because when Brad bought your GameCube, he had it. Because he was telling me that he didn't know a third one came out, and that he had beat Luigi's Mansion 1 on your GameCube.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'm mistaken. I just remember playing through it and then not touching it again. But so maybe I did own it.
But yeah, it's I played it a while ago for the GameCube as well. We did own it, and I think I even went back and caught all the ghosts and all that stuff. I 100%ed the game back in the day. So I was pretty excited when I found out one was coming out for the Switch. There was one that was released for the 3DS. I didn't play that one. But this one it's different than the one that I remember. But I will say some of the bosses are actually a little tough, and I'm not to the point where I can't beat them, but sometimes it takes a couple minutes to figure out what exactly you have to do to beat these bosses. So it's adding a little bit of added difficulty to them. And just so you know, because I have 4 cats now, there's almost always a cat on the desk. So, but it's a lot of fun. It's definitely, I think it's not quite as good as the first one in my mind. But like I said, I played a lot of the first one. So, but it's worth checking out if you're a Luigi's Mansion fan, or if you just like a game where an easygoing puzzle game. It's
So it's good for people who haven't played Luigi's Mansion before either, like myself.
Yeah, you'd be fine. There's not really, there's a story, but they're not linked or anything like that. It's not like you had to play any of the other ones.
Luigi goes in a mansion, there's ghosts. He has to Ghostbusters them up with his vacuum.
Exactly.
Now, just because some of our listeners are not video game experts, is it scary?
No, it's not. I don't think so.
And you're by far the
most scared of things, yes.
The most scared of things. You're the scaredy pants.
Yeah, I'm the scaredy pants of the group, and no, it's not scary. So The ghosts are very cartoony, so don't worry about
You
that.
could play with your toddler son in the room, and it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I gotta say, like, you're talking about this, how you're like, oh, some of the puzzles were pretty hard, and I feel like there's a time, and I'm sure you're very far away from this time, but there's a time in every parent's life when their child reaches a certain age and you could no longer help them with their homework, and you're like, I don't know, man, I learned that math a long time ago. I feel like there's going to be a certain age where you're like, I can't beat this boss. Like, I have to hand the controller over to my son and have him beat it for me. As you get older, I feel like your video game skills are not going to keep up with your sons.
No, I completely, like, even now playing, because I don't get to play as frequently as I used to. Like, I already know that I'm worse at video games than I used to be, and it's going to get to the point where it's like he's going to end up beating me in Pokemon, and I'm just going to go on complete like tilt for the entire rest of my life, and I'm going to be so mad. Like,
Chris is gonna text us and say, I kicked CJ out of the house today. Like,
yeah,
he's only 8. What did he do?
11. What are you doing?
It reminds me of the episode of Malcolm in the Middle where the dad finally loses to his 3 sons in basketball. It's like the same idea.
I had to remove CJ. He lives on the streets now. He beat me at Pokemon. I can't put up with it.
Oh yeah, it's enough.
And in true Pokemon tradition, he's at the age where he should just go out on his own and make his way in the world.
Yeah. If he can beat me at Pokemon, he can go out in his world and catch his own damn Pokemon.
That's right. See how you play Pokemon without any money. But yeah, check it out. Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion 3 for the Switch. A lot of fun. I'm enjoying it so far. So
now, when you play this game, do you play? I find myself when I play the Switch, I always play it undocked.
Oh.
Always. I never play it on my TV screen.
I've actually been playing on the TV screen, and then today, before football started, I took it off the dock and was playing like handheld, and I was like, oh my god, this is terrible. I wish I had a dock to the TV screen. So I have played, I used to play Pokemon all the time undocked, but if I have the TV available, I try and play it on the big screen. That's just me personally. Okay.
But Obert?
Yeah, sure, I'll take the mug. No, I always play mine on the TV. Pokemon does feel like much more of a handheld game, but I feel like if I'm playing undocked, I will have something on the TV, and then I'm not giving my full attention to either what I'm watching or what I'm playing. So works best for me if I have it on the TV, or if I'm traveling. That's a different story too.
Right.
Just an FYI, 2 weeks from now, Pokemon comes out.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks from now, all 3 of our handles are going to be Pokemon. Go buy it.
Right. We'll post our friend codes as our handles, and just friend us. Send us all your best Pokemon, and then just get stomped. But anyways, Obert, I present to you our 3-handled mug of wisdom.
Thank you, Chris. I'm going to go in a pretty different direction here. And
socks.
My handle this week is socks. They're like gloves, but for your feet.
They're like underwear for your feet. It's great.
Yeah. No.
I present French pressing beer as my handle this week. I
got in a bit of a first aid situation this weekend, and I sliced my finger open, and I know, yeah, it was tragic, and but to seal my wound up, I used liquid bandage, and I seemed that I prefer liquid bandage to Band-Aids, and it's basically like medical grade super glue.
I've seen people super glue their cuts shut before.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing, but it's just sterile. And
don't want
it's
none
available,
of that acetone floating around.
Yeah, it's available wherever first aid products are sold, but it's waterproof. It helps seal your wound, and you don't have to deal with the annoying sticky Band-Aid all the time. And as I learned this weekend, the last time you want to be thinking, I wish that I had a first aid product, is after you're already injured. So that's why I bring it on the show today, which is like, don't wait until you have an open wound to go buy your liquid bandage. You want to have it in your home so you're ready for when you cut yourself, so that you can just put it on right then and there and not have to worry about it. Yeah, it's like $7 for a little tiny. How would I even describe the amount? It's like $7 for a little jar of it.
Container,
and
jar, serving size. And,
that's lasted me for years. So I like it. It's great for when I go backpacking as well. It's great for backcountry wilderness. It seals all kinds of wounds. Nice. So liquid bandage, buy it before you need it. TM.
Would it help you in case of a bear bite?
Depends on
The size of the bear.
Yeah. Depends on how badly the bear bit you.
Perfect.
But I can't imagine it hurting worse than the bear bite. So
buy liquid bandage to help prevent bear bites.
yeah.
Now, what if you prepared yourself by covering yourself in liquid bandage first, before doing something stupid?
I don't think it works that way.
Yeah, I don't think it's a force field.
Yeah. That would be cool. But no, I don't think it quite works that way, unfortunately.
Well, you said you got to be prepared before you hurt yourself.
Yeah, I mean, just have it ready in your bag, in your first aid kit.
Well, what better way of being prepared if you're already covered in it?
I feel like I should be able to argue with that, but I can't.
Flawless logic.
That makes total sense to me.
And so with that, we'd like to thank you all for listening. And I don't know how we really thank the breweries today that provided the beer because we added stuff to it. But I'm going to go and just take a shot in the dark and thank Founders for at least providing me with the breakfast stout.
I'd like to thank Burial for their donut skillet stout.
And I'm going to thank Guinness for their Guinness plus the Oreos I added.
Oh, should we thank the other companies too? Yeah, thanks to Count Chocula and to Bananas and to Peanut Butter for existing.
Thank you, Chiquita.
It was Dole. It was Dole.
Oh, man.
Oh, sorry.
my least
Dole.
favorite kind of banana.
I don't know if you're a GIF or Skippy person, but I'm a Dole man.
I'm a Dole man. Do.
That's a parody.
Oh,
Lawyers.
please make sure you're going on to social media and following us on all social medias. Hashtag follow the email at dawf@gmail.com. Make sure you're sending in your thoughts, your concerns, your general thoughts. That's thoughts twice, by the way. We want them all those thoughts, because Obert doesn't like thoughts. So
your regular thoughts and your general thoughts.
correct. All of the thoughts. Then send us your thoughtfulness. Make sure you're going and clicking on our Amazon affiliate link that's in our episode description. Obviously, there was no, we're going to link to Luigi's Mansion 3 today, or this week, in our Amazon affiliate link, as well as
Liquid Bandage.
As well as Liquid Bandage.
There you go.
Obviously, we're not going to link to Creed and his band because
you know what? I'm going to put their album on. If it's on Amazon, I'll put a link there too.
Perfect. Make sure you're going on our Patreon, subscribing to that as well. We do put up bonus episodes from time to time. I think we probably have 5, 6.
Yeah, something like that. There's some up there.
There we go.
There's a couple hours worth of stuff.
There are some up there. Make sure you're going on there and paying the $25 or the $2 billion or the $100 million or whatever our different tiers are in order for us to drink the Bud Light and Clamato. All right. So with that, my name's Ted.
My name's Chris.
And I'm Obert. And remember, if you're drinking alone, do it with friends.
All right.
I can't wait to go infuse some more beers, guys.
Yeah.
What are you going to infuse next?
Well, I have some Life cereal and also more Guinness. I'd like to buy a 4-pack.
Life cereal with hard to do.
I was going to say, regular
Life cinnamon.
Well, I just see it says cinnamon under the word life, so I don't know. I assume so.
Well, I know there's a separate cinnamon life. General life is kind of cinnamony to begin with.
I don't think so.
That could be. You could put that on a coffee mug. Life is cinnamony to begin with.
Hey, Mikey, he likes it.